Welcome back. Dr. Redacted here. SCP-294. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. There are no standard special containment procedures on file for item SCP-294. However, only personnel of security clearance level 2 or higher are allowed to interact with it. SCP-294 is currently being stored in the second floor personal break room and is monitored by 2 guards of security clearance level 3 at all times. Being in 04, it was very nice to come there and bypass it. Item SCP-294 appears to be a standard coffee vending machine, the only noticeable difference being an entry touchpad with buttons corresponding to an English QWERTY keyboard. Upon depositing 50 cents US currency into the coin slot, the user is prompted to enter the name of any liquid using the touchpad. Upon doing so, a standard 12-ounce paper drinking cup is placed, and the liquid indicated is poured. 97 initial test runs were performed, including requests for water, coffee, beer, and soda, non-consumable liquids such as sulfuric acid, wiper fluid, and motor oil, as well as substances that do not usually exist in liquid state, such as nitrogen, iron, and glass. Actually, the nitrogen one saved my ass once or twice when we ran out. It takes forever to actually condense nitrogen, but you just go up to the machine, press a button, and you had it. And each one returned a success. Test runs with solid materials such as diamond have failed. However, as it appears that SCP-294 can only deliver substances that can exist in a liquid state. It is of note that after approximately 50 uses, the machine would not respond to further requests. After a period of approximately 90 minutes, the machine seemed to have restocked itself. It is also interesting to note that many caustic liquids that would have eaten through a normal paper cup seem to have no effect on the cups dispensed by the machine. Testing is ongoing. As suggested, SCP-294 was moved to the second floor personal break room as a money-saving venture. Following Incident 294-1, guards are stationed at the item and security clearance became necessary to interact with it. Document SCP-294-A regarding Incident 294-1. On August the 21st, 2005, Agent Joseph attempted to use item SCP-294 to obtain coffee during his allotted break time at 9:30 a.m. at the request of another agent to see what it would do. Like, for fuck's sakes. Joseph requested a cup of joe from the item. Moments after confirming the selection, Agent Joseph began to sweat profusely and complain of dizziness before collapsing. After moving the unconscious agent to the infirmary, the medical team recovered the contents of the cup dispensed by item SCP-294, a combination of blood, tissue, and other bodily fluids. Testing revealed the DNA sequence of the biological matter dispensed by SCP-294 matched that of Agent Joseph. See, this is why we can't have nice things. Like, I'm half kidding, but at the same time, don't play with an SCP. Okay, I know I've done it multiple times, but when you're going to play with it, play smart. Act as if it is a thermonuclear device strapped to your privates. That's the best way to think of it. Oh, Agent Joseph made a complete recovery after 4 weeks of rest and intravenous hydration. X-rays and CAT scans showed no further signs of injury, and Joseph was released. Both agents were reprimanded. Additional security measures for SCP-294 have been recommended. It kind of sucks that I don't have tea anymore. Yeah. A little while ago, someone actually, giving y'all just a bit of an update here, someone actually banged into the 3-foot thick steel door to my chamber, and, they dented it. If they come through the door, I'm pretty sure the freeze-dried meat that was in my military ration should be able to kill them. Lord Almighty, I know I wasn't able to eat it. I thought about using it to escape, using it to chisel through the fucking reinforced concrete walls. Anyways, yeah, things here at the site are still kind of digressing. I'm I'm hoping that they get it under control fairly soon. I haven't heard anything for a while, so either that's really good or really bad. Addendum. SCP-294-F. After reviewing documentation on SCP-294, suggested testing SCP-294's ability to retrieve specific lexicon. Wow. Cannot speak now, can I? SCP-294's ability to retrieve certain liquids from a distance. With the overseeing of an O5, a cup of SCP-075 secretion was used as an input. The product was proven to be the requested liquid, and the cup was able to contain the material. However, the report of the incident, 075-07, was acknowledged 2 hours after the test. A containment procedure breach had occurred exactly the same time the test had been taking place, waking SCP-75 to its active state. It was able to secrete an amount of basic solution equal to the capacity of a coffee cup before emergency containment procedures was applied, and it was rendered passive. The liquid was not found in the post-incident investigation. Now here's some of the fun stuff. Researcher punched in a request for a cup of gold. The machine dispensed a cup of molten gold. Researcher requested similar precious metals from the same result. Oh my lord. Actually, it was very useful because he was able to punch in a cup of osmium, which, if you didn't know, osmium is incredibly high melting temperature, makes it a bit of a bitch to pour. We were able to use that to create a we needed it for some testing device for an SCP. We needed something that could withstand high temperatures. So we actually used it to melt down the materials. But I do believe he used one of the cups of gold to buy himself a car. Hey, it didn't say we couldn't. Research. Oh my lord, I can't remember. I remember when he did this now. He had a pointer stick about 5 meters long, typing in this. Researcher punched in a request for, from a very safe distance, cup of anti-water. Machine hummed briefly, then displaced out of range on entry pad. It is theorized that SCP-294 has a limited range of collection and cannot reach out into alternate universes/dimensions. Yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment. Man, I wish I had some tea. There was some actual tea in the military rations, but they are, how do I put it? It's shit tea. I could probably make tea from my shit and it'd be better. Continuing on, researcher punched in a request for diamond. SCP-294 hummed briefly, then displayed out of range on entry pad. SCP-294 uses for all solid substances, as diamond is a solid crystalline form of carbon. It appears the machine will not dispense liquid carbon, as this does not result in a diamond. When cup of carbon was subsequently punched in, the machine dispensed a cup of liquid carbon. SCP-294 was immune to the damaging effects of the dispensing liquid. Yeah, I don't even know how carbon would be a liquid under most atmospheres. That's a troubling one. Testing for range of SCP-294's capacity for retrieval has been initiated. A unique compound was formulated, composed of undisclosed ratios of bleach. I'll tell you what it is. It was Dr. Pepper. It says an unnamed brand cola, but it's Dr. Pepper. It's what we had at the time, and Metrex powder and Grama masala. The fluid was created and placed in a sealed container 25 meters away from SCP-294. When requested, the fluid was dispensed. An equal amount of the mixture was no longer present in its original container. Researcher blank blank, under observation of level 4 personnel, keyed in a request of the best drink I've ever had. SCP-294 dispensed a fluid similar in appearance to cola. The researcher identified as a mixed drink he recalls having at a bar during his bachelor party, and was convinced it was the best drink ever. Blank did not know what the ingredients were in the drink besides rum and cola. Further tests are scheduled to ascertain how SCP-294 gathers information. Yeah, that one was a bit of a mystery, because as far as we know, he had no clue what was in it, so its knowledge seems to be almost limitless. Under the same conditions, Agent Blank What? Under the same conditions, Agent Blank keyed in the best drink I've ever had. SCP-294 dark fluid, topped with white foam, which has later identified as a Vina lager. The cup was printed with a color picture of 5 men and 2 women drinking beer on the beach. Blank was one of them. In his briefing, Agent Blank confirmed that his favorite drink ever was a Vina lager he consumed at the beach with his friends. It has now been confirmed that SCP-294 has the ability to directly gather information from someone's mind in order to comply with the given conditions. Which was perfect when, I probably shouldn't have done this, but I used to go to it and plug in my favorite cup of tea, and it would dispense a perfectly mint tea with a small amount of cream and quite a bit of sugar. It was absolutely delicious. Subject keyed the perfect drink. The machine dispensed a cup containing an odorless lavender liquid. After drinking the liquid, subject appeared to go in shock. Subject later committed suicide, leaving a note which read, "I'm sorry, but at this point everything's just one big letdown. Requesting such a drink again is highly discouraged. None of the components of the drink have yet been identified." Yeah, no one really wants to test it, if you can understand why. Subject keyed in something Cassie would like. Oh lord, poor Cassie. The device was heard to hum for about 3 seconds before dispensing an empty cup. Printed on the side of the cup was an image of a traditional soda fountain glass filled with something brown and topped with whipped cream. Upon introduction to SCP-085, it was identified by her as a chocolate banana milkshake and judged delicious. Researcher keyed in a request for a cup of music. SCP-294... Forgive me. The air in here is starting to get very muggy. I'm hoping they get power back on soon. Researcher keyed in a request for a cup of music. SCP-294 produced a clear, sparkling fluid that tasted vaguely of alcohol. Following ingestion, subject reported feeling and not hearing a continuous rhythm, and demonstrated the ability to move and even dance with a certain fluidity that he had not previously shown. Testing on other abstract concepts is continuing. During a mass security breach, Agent Blank requested a cup of pertinent medical knowledge while taking shelter inside the second floor break room. Of the 4 agents in the room, Agent Blank was the only one who was not injured. SCP-294 poured a cup of a clear green liquid. Following the ingestion of the substance, Agent Blank began mending the other agent's wounds in a manner consistent with the Foundation's medical training. Agent Blank no longer has the medical training that the liquid provided, and other attempts to recreate the effect have failed. The agent has speculated that this event was an emergency measure taken by the object to ensure self-preservation, which hints at sentience, which we don't... It's very nice when an SCP just sits on a shelf and does jack shit. It's not good when it starts thinking, what should I do next? That's usually how someone loses a testicle. Oh my lord. Dr. Blank requested My Life Story from SCP-294. SCP-294 made humming noises and shook violently for approximately 3 minutes before providing a highly viscous, opaque black liquid. Upon consumption, Dr. Blank reported that he remembered everything that had ever happened to him. Following this test, Dr. Blank entered his office and returned 48 hours later with a 538-page autobiography. He wanted us to proofread it for spelling mistakes. I told him, since he has a perfect memory, he should remember the time I kicked him in the nuts, and unless he wants to relive it, he needs to just shut the fuck up. It's 500 fucking pages, and we're not talking bold type. We're talking, like, .3 type, almost. Oh my lord. Researcher produced request consisting solely of the phrase, "surprise me." Device produced an opaque cup containing normal water, later determined to have been heated to approximately 200 degrees Celsius. Upon receiving a vibration from transport, the contents of the cup turned into steam, violently spraying boiling water in a 2-meter radius. Yeah, that was... I don't know how to put that. This machine being an asshole, I guess? I don't... To sum it up for y'all if you didn't quite get it, superheated water was poured into a cup, and the second you tried to move it, it vibrated, similar to supercooling water will instantly freeze. This instantly turned into a gas, which, if you don't know about steam, is very dangerous. When boiling steam is blowing out, it will rip flesh from bone. It's not a pretty sight. Researcher produced a request of blood of Christ. SCP-294 vibrated and produced the message, of the Latin saying, "If you are Catholic," and then produced a paper drinking cup containing approximately 0.12 liters of a red grape wine. The Holy Sacrament. I'm sorry, that's just hilarious. Because it seems the machine has a bit of a funny bone, which I love. Then again, the fact that it boiled someone alive almost isn't that funny. Researcher produced request of cup of Simildolian blood, cup of passenger pigeon blood, and cup of Thomas Jefferson's blood, and received 3 out-of-range errors. If you don't know, passenger pigeons have been extinct for at least 300 years, and Thomas Jefferson has been dead for, I don't know, I want to say around, almost 300 himself, yeah. So, and what was it? Simildon? That's the saber-toothed tiger. All of those are extinct, long dead, dried husks. That's why it could not retrieve them. It simply no longer exists. A D-class personnel with an IQ of 99 and a low curiosity scores was given written instructions about what to request. The D-class personnel produced a request for blood of Canis lupus and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as wolf blood. The D-class personnel next produced a request for saliva of Equus furus calibus and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as horse saliva. The D-class personnel next produced a request for urine of... I can't pronounce that. I'm a biologist, but Latin names have always messed with me. Effectively, they asked for quality urine and they received it. The D-class personnel next produced a request for cerebrospinal fluid of Fobrinus patrisson and received a cup of liquid currently undergoing analysis. It is noticed that Fobrinus patrisson went extinct during the late Mesolcene epoch, approximately 8 million years ago. Yeah, that one, that one's actually currently being asked around the different sites if there were, if anyone had a dinosaur. Effectively, there's some very weird shit that has to be asked here. Dr. King produced a request for a cup of room temperature superconductor and received a cup of apple juice with seeds floating in it. Yeah, we don't really understand what that one was. We think that may have just been a joke. if it doesn't exist or hasn't been found by science, it can't be found. How do I put this? That's not accurate. It takes information from the world around it. We don't know, science does not know of a room temperature superconductor, so it could not provide one. But for some reason, it supplied a cup of apple juice, which may have something to do with arsenic being in the seeds and arsenic being a part of some superconductors. But that's an iffy, very iffy conclusion to draw there. Dr. Minchu produced a request for a cup of D151839's leukemia and received a cup of fluid. The fluid was microscopically examined and found to contain leukemic blast cells, which were a genetic match to D151839. A second request for a cup of D151839's leukemia resulted in an out-of-range error. D151839 was subsequently found to be free of leukemia. However, within 15 days, the leukemia had reoccurred. That is all of them for now, at least in the testing log. I can tell you it will... The machine is very literal, if you haven't noticed. I do believe, one of the things I requested was a sample of a 90-10 mixture of carbon-60 dissolved in alcohol. I ran out doing an experiment on something and I needed more, and the machine was there. I maybe dropped maybe $500 or $600 into this machine. Yeah, it wasn't... You can be very, very the more accurate you are in what you're asking for, the more likely you are to get it. So I could say for my tea, for example, my tea is usually a special type of mint tea that is a pain in the ass to get. I have it imported in. Wow. Again, remember, I've been locked inside of a room for 3 days, and I'm eating military rations. It's not best existence right now. And thinking about having some very nice tea. So I can either A, ask for my favorite tea, or B, I can go into the exact amounts of what I want added, and it will do it. But there's no current understanding for what we need from this machine. We don't understand where it gets its stuff from, nor do we fully understand how it retrieves them. So you just be careful when you ask for something from it if you see it. And if you like, you can ask for my favorite tea. You actually should be able to put in Dr. Redacted's tea and it should come out. And if you assholes just put in Dr. Redacted, I will beat the living shit out of you. That's not funny. Not funny at all. Signing off. And remember what I said. Always act as if an SCP is a thermonuclear device strapped to your privates.